Somebody named themselves Jordy's curved thumb. Stupid.
Experience BPD things almost daily.
Shut up about BPD. Shut up.
Come on, like the stream for my curved thumb.
All right, so back to my notes. Okay. So Beck says that they never met Feline or Libby, but that's not true. There's video proof of both of those things.
When did Beck say that they've never met Feline?
Never. Ever.
What? I don't remember Beck ever saying that they never met Feline. You guys were all in the same living room at one point.
Beck says that they wiped me. Okay, so story time on that. Beck started wiping me after my hysterectomy, and it continued on after that. This part is embarrassing, and this part I'm going to be accountable.
Take accountability for your shitty ass.
Here we go. Accountable Lynn coming in at you. So my hysterectomy. Okay, so wiping. Okay, I'm so embarrassed. Holy fuck. Wiping for me has always been extremely hard. As a bigger girl, obviously. If you were bigger, my size, it's hard. When I was about to get my hysterectomy, that was a big thing for me that I was like, how am I going to be able to wipe myself? Because it's hard already. I'm not going to be able to. So this is something that I was like, at the time, I was like, Becky, like, are you going to be able to do this for me? Like, I'm really embarrassed about it. And they were like, of course. Like, I love you.
Well, what other choice did they have? I mean, really, this kind of comes down to, it's like, well, if Beck wasn't going to do it, what was going to be the alternative? Really, what would have been the alternative? You asking permission isn't even really you asking permission, because it's kind of just assumed that that's going to be the course of action. No, I'm not going to wipe you. Okay. And then that would result in you throwing a big hissy fit. That would result in you gaslighting. That would result in you, pulling like the, well, I make all the money card. Really, why even ask if you know that that's going to be the answer? Yeah, Beck was happy to do it. I love you, honey. I'm so happy to do this for you. Really, what would have been the alternative? She would have had to hire someone.
Blah, blah, blah. So when I was healing, I physically could not do it. Like, physically could not do it. And so Beck did it for me. And so did my mom. Me and my mom would laugh about it, though, because it was just like, okay, you did this for me as a baby, and now you're doing it for me as an adult. So it was an embarrassing type deal, but
it was embarrassing for Amber. She said, blah, blah. There's no thought for Beck. There's no thought for Beck doing this. Like, I know we all laugh at the whole wiping thing, but we all know, like, it's awful for Beck. She doesn't. There's no thought. I mean, she might say it in the next sentence, but there's no concern for how it made Beck feel. Yeah, we didn't have a sexual relationship. You don't say. I wouldn't want to have a sexual relationship when I'm out to wipe someone's ass. Salah would.
So, me not being able to wipe for, it was like honestly a few weeks. And already something that was already so hard for me, I kind of lost the ability to do it. I was literally shook.
Yeah, because it was too easy for you. It became too convenient. So it started off by you getting wiped because of a surgery that you had, and then you realized, well, this was something that was always difficult and annoying for me to do. It's kind of nice just bending over and having someone take care of it. You know what? I'm not going to try anymore. I'm just not going to try anymore. Why would I try? This is nice having this done.
Because I remember when I was noticing like my healing was getting better, like everything was going great. Like I was able to do all sorts of things again and all this stuff.
Yeah, so everything was getting better. You were healing. You were getting some of your mobility back. The limited mobility you had to begin with, you were getting it back. So really, you could have gone back to wiping yourself. You were just too lazy.
And like the healing was just going perfect. And I was like, holy fuck, wait a minute. I like have lost the ability to like do this. And
no, lazy. I've lost the ability to do it. It's like forgetting how to ride a bike. That doesn't make any sense. You don't forget how to ride a bike. You don't forget how to wipe. I forgot. like in the 2 months that I was getting wiped, I was just like so out of mind, like out of sight. I wasn't even really, it wasn't even on my radar. It just kind of became second nature to just like, shit and then bend over and have someone take care of the rest.
Obviously after time I was able to figure that out again, thankfully. But
because you were forced to. You were forced to. Because you weren't going to have Jade come in there and immediately start getting wiped by Jade. Magically. Isn't that awesome? As soon as she got a new girlfriend in the mix, she magically regained her ability to wipe.
I would say Beck wiped me for, I would say, a good 9 months. And it's really embarrassing. And I know a lot of people are going to forever make
Well, I mean, they broke up in what, July of the end of June 20. I mean, she may have even been getting wiped while they were doing like the whole wifey thing. Because I mean, wifey didn't move in until like, I want to say like September of 2021. So, I mean, all throughout June, all throughout August, Beck was still living there. And I bet that Amberlynn was still having Beck wipe her because it was like that whole thing of like, well, you still owe me. You're living here for free. You don't pay rent. So you can keep wiping until Jade moves in. And then magically when Jade moved in, this wipe amnesia went away and Amberlynn was able to do it again because she was trying to put on her best for Jade. Oh no, I can take care of myself. Oh no. I know how to wipe. That's just it. It comes down to laziness. Les wipe.
I also did very embarrassing things for Beck. Like, that's what you do when you're in a 5-year relationship. Like, that is what you are going to do, period. You are going to help the person that you love.
She kind of teases this. I don't know if Beck will ever disclose this, but she kind of foreshadows this to us. Well, yeah, Beck did wipe me for 9 months, but I also did some pretty embarrassing things for Beck. So, I mean, that's what you do when you're in a long-term relationship. I would love to know what is an equal comparison between getting wiped for upwards of a year. Really, what compares to that?
And you're going to be there for them. You're going to be there for them if you love them. And I'm truly embarrassed about it because moral of the story is it's my fault because of my size. Because if it was...
Yeah, you can't wipe now? So you showing your clean panties was pathetic?
Wasn't for my size, like that would have never have had to happen. And
you couldn't wipe because of your size. Beck was wiping your ass. The financial abuser Beck was wiping your ass. And you knew it was because of your size. So then you got control of your size. You lost weight. So the person you loved didn't have to do that. That's what you did, isn't it? You lost weight so Beck wouldn't have to do that. Oh, no, you didn't. You just kept getting fatter and fatter and fatter. So Beck had to keep wiping your ass. There's no thought for Beck. Oh my God, sorry Beck, I can't believe you have to wipe me. I'm going to get my weight under control. Yum, 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 yum. Isn't it a joke?
And I'm sorry that I would ever put anyone in that sort of situation.
No, you're not, because you didn't change it for a year. You didn't change it until Beck... You didn't change it, Beck left. Well done, Beck, for leaving. Well done, Beck, for leaving.
To have to do that. And I'm forever grateful that, like, they were there for me during, like, that fucking scary time. I'm not gonna lie. But then this goes down to people asking, like, did Feline do that? No, because like I said, Beck...
Yeah, you would have been too mortified. When Amberlynn fell on her walk and she was sprawled out on the grass, she didn't call for help because she didn't want Jade walking over and seeing her laying on the ground helpless like that. She just laid there, and then eventually she was able to get up somehow by herself, but she didn't want to move. I mean, who would want to do that? But I mean, yeah, who would want to move in their new girlfriend and then immediately, hand them a roll of Charmin and say, all right, you're up.
I did it for because eventually I was able to do it again. And I want to make it very, very clear. That that is the only thing they helped me with. Like back in 2019, they got me a bucket with some water twice to like help wash myself because that was during a hard time as well. But now,
Well, I mean, there was a distinct video when I remember Amberlynn talking about how Beck would bring in a bucket and a sponge and she would, quote, do what she could. But now we're hearing it as Beck only really helped bathe twice. Beck only brought me a bucket twice. I mean, like, are we really going to split hairs with wiping? Is this what we're doing now? Well, they wiped shit out of my ass, but they never helped me bathe. I mean, like, this is what we're doing.
never ever once did I have them bathe me, shower me. That never happened. And if it did,
Yeah, because you were bedbound. So they would bring you a sponge in bed and you would just kind of drape it across your body best you could. They wiped me, but they never bathed me. Like, what are we doing here? What are we trying to accomplish?
I would tell you, because I just told you the most embarrassing thing. Like if someone had like a gun to my head and said, what is your biggest secret ever? It would have been that. I had a partner who wiped me for 9 months. Me not being able to wipe it was like honestly a few weeks.
So she only bathed twice that year? Well, when she lived with Destiny's mom, Destiny told us in her live stream expose from 2 years ago that Amber now.
That is embarrassing. And I see a lot of people making fun of me.
Yeah, there's an infamous clip from Destiny's live stream where Destiny's sitting there and she goes, Amberlynn did not shower.
I knew that was going to happen, and I guess that's fine. Okay. Okay, so another thing. Beck said how I always went through their phone and how I would never let them go through mine. Half of that is true. Half of that is not true. So something I was really bad with due to like trust issues, but it doesn't even matter otherwise. We're not going to even just erase that I just said that. I would go through Beck's phone. Yes. And I also did it to past partners as well. Not a good look. Very not a good look. I was always, I'm not even going to say why. It doesn't matter why. I did it and I'm sorry. That's controlling. That's wrong. That's
okay, but where's the but? Where's the but? Yeah, I went through Beck's phone. Yeah. I didn't let Beck go through my phone.
You wouldn't let Beck go through yours because you were talking to other people and you were looking at things you probably shouldn't have been looking at.
Where's the but? I'm waiting on it. Come on.
It's wrong. Point blank, period. I should not have ever done that. Like, there's no reason. But the part about Beck's
But there we go. Okay. All right, here we go.
saying they were never allowed to go through my phone, they were never allowed to read my journals, is a lie. I have proof.
Here's the thing about this, about what we're going to watch. I think that Amberlynn showing us like old journal entries from 5-6 years ago and saying, well, Beck was allowed to read this. I think that there were separate journals where Amberlynn wrote things down where it was completely private to her. No one was allowed to see it. And then there was like more of a free form journal where she could write things down that Beck was allowed to read. Okay, you can read out of the turquoise journal, but you can't read out of the black notebook. No. Don't go near that black notebook. The turquoise journal, sure. The turquoise journal, okay, sure. You can read out of that. But as far as like going through the phone and everything, I mean, how do you prove that? I don't think I don't think that sorry, like, but this part, like this is kind of like she said, but I'm just going to choose to believe Beck on this because I mean, Beck telling us that you saying, no, you can't go through my phone because I have private shit on there. That kind of sounds like something you'd say.
very old journal. And if you guys know, if you watch my vlogs, you guys know I've showed this like a million times before. So this journal is from June 18th, 2021 to December 9th, 2021. And I have showed this in multiple vlogs. So this isn't like a fake story time, nothing like that. I saved the spot and everything. On July 24th of 2021, I wrote this. I think I'm done reading this journal to Becky. this shit has gotten kind of deep and I want to go even deeper. There are some things I don't want Becky knowing, mainly because I'm embarrassed. I want to be able to write in this journal as if it's absolutely no one is going to read it. This is the best way to write. I haven't told Becky she will no longer be reading this journal, but I should probably tell her soon. I just kind of feel bad about it, even though I shouldn't. So obviously I don't want to show you guys what else it says.
Obviously, I let Beck read this journal because I wrote that in this journal 6 years ago.
In here, so I took a screenshot of the thing, of the actual page, but I took out everything else. So again, July 24th, 2021, and this is when I started meeting Feline. So I was like writing things about Feline, and I was like, this is awkward. Why would I let Becky read this? So here's the actual page. Like a lot of people like are like, Amberlynn, if you're gonna come on here, we need some sort of proof. So I'm trying to give you, like, obviously I can't show proof of everything under the sun. Like that's not possible. But the things that I can give proof, like I'm trying my very hardest. Someone said your handwriting sucks. Sorry. So the red is just me blocking out stuff that, you guys, that's embarrassing. I can't show the whole journal entry. Like it's a journal for a reason. This is just like the entry from that I'm just trying to show you.
What?
From July 24th. Like,
okay, so remember the whole premise of this. Let's go back to basics. Amberlynn started off by saying, Beck is a liar because Beck said that they were never allowed to look at my journals and they were never allowed to go through my phone. So the proof of why she's doing this is because for some reason in this journal entry, it said something along the lines of, well, I think I'm going to stop showing Becky these journals or something. Okay. I mean, to be honest, Beck may have said that, but I mean, this is kind of picking and choosing. It's like, well, okay, maybe Beck was allowed to read some of the journals, but they weren't allowed to read some of the other ones. Maybe that's what they meant by I wasn't allowed to read the journals. And you never would have written anything damning or controversial in the journals that they were allowed to read. No. They were allowed to read my journals. Look, I have proof. Is this proof?
I'm trying to show you from July 24th. Like, what am I supposed, like, literally that is the, like, I don't know what to tell, like, I've showed this so many times I can't even count. Hold on. You guys are making me. Oh my God. Okay. You guys just want to see the whole page? Like, I'm so embarrassed right now. I'm literally talking shit about myself in this. So many things I need to change and improve before we can even plan it. I don't feel like the person I am, if that makes sense. I feel like I'm worthy of love and attraction and sex, but then I remember who I really am and what I
Wipe your own ass then. Have a shower, then you can have sex.
Like, to be honest, I really don't think that this is relevant. This has nothing to do with anything. Oh my God, she's crying.
So I need to change. I fucked up by being.
Yeah, I hate myself, blah, blah, blah.
The full shabam. So.
I don't feel like I'm worthy of sex. I feel like I'm gross. Like, what does this have to do with anything?
Oh. That was just me.
This is supposed to be like her taking accountability and her owning her shit, and she's showing us journal entries that have nothing to do with anything from 5 years ago.
Trying to prove to you guys that, like, Beck got to read my stuff.
Maybe Beck got to read some of your stuff. Maybe Beck got to read out of the sticker journal, but the black notebook? No, you stay away from the black notebook. I'll have your head if you read out of the black notebook.
Read my full-fledged journal entries, even though they are telling everyone that they didn't. Like, does that make sense? Like,
any information worth reading, you didn't let Beck see. That's the point that Beck's getting at.
Beck is telling people that they had no control over the bank, but I'm the one who didn't. I'm the one.
Oh, see, this is what pisses me off. This about like her weaponizing her laziness. The only reason that that money went into Beck's account is because you were too lazy to set up your own. Really, this just makes you look like an idiot. She was too lazy to set up her own bank account. Beck is telling everyone that they didn't have any financial freedom, yet all of the money was going into their bank account. Yeah, why do you think that is? Because you were too lazy to set up your own. If Beck would have bought something, you would have known about it. And if you had a problem with it, you would have had no issue voicing that.
One who didn't. Like,
I didn't have any control. I didn't have any control over my banking account. Yeah, you did. Yeah, you did, Amber. You had your own debit card. You could just hook it up to all your little DoorDash, Uber Eats, Postmates. You hooked it up to all those little apps. You spent whatever. You never cared about what you spent. Money wasn't an object to you because you were making so much of it.
I needed to ask them to look at the bank. Like, how much money do we have in the bank?
Because you never took it upon yourself to get a username and password. This all just comes down to her being lazy. Well, I was the one that had to ask Beck what the balance was on our banking. That's just you being a lazy idiot. Oh, this enrages me.
They're allowed to like lie about stuff because the tea is piping. The tea is hot.
I will not. This will not be a place to bash Beck. But if Beck said it,
they're allowed to lie about stuff. Give me a break.
Yes, I would also let Beck look through my phone, but I don't think they ever.
No. And the only reason why, look at her face. And the only reason why she's saying this right now is because there's no way of proving this. Yeah, I would let Beck look through my phone. There was probably one time where Amberlynn needed help beating a level on one of those stupid fucking games that she plays. And this is her equating it to, yeah, I let Beck look through my phone. Oh, hey, beat this level of doodle jump for me, Beck. Here, you can use my phone while you do it. Oh, I let Beck look through my phone. There's no way of proving this. And honestly, if it comes down to she said, I believe Beck. I don't think that Beck was allowed to go through your phone.
Maybe like once, and I was just like, sure, like very much that.
Oh yeah, I'm sure that's how it went down. Yeah, I'm sure that Beck asked to look through your phone and you were like, yeah, here. Yeah, I'm sure that's exactly how it went down.
So one of the hardest thing, like, okay, so after we broke up,
after Beck broke up with you,
we had mutual friends, obviously. And
I'm gonna let her talk about Eric and Ricky. I'm gonna go to the bathroom. I'll be back in 1 minute.
We had mutual friends, obviously.
Who didn't like you?
And I found out a lot of things that I did not know about, actually. That made sense. And it like added up for me, obviously. But behind my back, like Beck admitted to using me for money. And that is the only reason why they were with me.
Did they?
And this part like really hurt me. Beck literally called me.
She said in that community post, "This will not be a place to bash Beck, and I will be taking accountability." This is worse than I thought it was going to be. Like I said, the boxer analogy. I really thought she'd win a few rounds at least. Hasn't landed a punch yet.
A fat bitch, and that.
Okay. Your abuse victim called you some names. Okay, let's go back.
Called me. Really hurt me. Beck literally called me a fat bitch.
Okay, is this meant to make us think badly of Beck? Because it doesn't. What's this meant to do? I abused them physically. I did all these awful things. And then Beck called me a name. Yeah, wow, that's the same as abuse. Yeah, you're right. It does take two to tango. You're right.
And that genuinely shocked me. And obviously you guys probably know who the mutual friends are. Let's be real. But like Beck would like during an argument would say kind of harsh things, obviously, but
all right, okay. Beck did this thing of saying harsh things during an argument. Oh, okay. Amber, man, this is not. You put time. What? This is not. It's not in the same realm.
Never like vulgar.
Oh,
But
that's
like
an Ewu thing as well.
after, sorry, I have
That is an Ewu thing that the suspects they give a little bit of credit. Yeah, they would do bad things, but not too bad. Yeah, to make like no man.
so much on my brain trying to read the chat and then trying to read this.
So this whole video so far has been Beck did this, Beck did that, Beck said bad stuff to me.
So when I heard like using me for money, like low key, it felt like it made sense to me because I would tell them like, get a job. Like I could tell you're bored because once we moved from the home where we had roommates and we were living with friends, like obviously it was different. Like
You can't say that Amberlynn ever actively encouraged Beck to get a job because Amberlynn didn't want Beck working. Amberlynn didn't want Beck spending time away from Amberlynn because Amberlynn needed to be attached at the hip with them. And Amberlynn didn't want Beck making their own money because of things like, oh, well, is that the funds that you're going to use once you leave me? Amberlynn didn't want Beck having financial freedom. Didn't want Beck to have any independence because independence and financial freedom would have allowed for an easy way out. Amberlynn wanted to trap this person.
I was like, get a job. Like, are you joking? And so they tried Uber, but they only did it like twice.
Beck said they did it for a while. They got to listen to their music while delivering food and making money. Now, if Amber stopped it, I wouldn't be surprised.
And I'm like, and I always tried to be super like, what's the word?
You probably didn't let them Uber because when people go out in Uber, I mean, they'll sometimes stay out for like 6, 8, 10, 12-hour sessions driving people around. No, get home now, get home right now. You probably set a timer. All right, you can do one Uber trip and then your ass is getting back here.
Beck said they did it for a while. They got to listen to their music while delivering food and making money. Now, if Amber stopped it, I wouldn't be surprised.
What word am I looking for?
Which, I mean, later in this live stream, she admits to. She admits to being very controlling of their time and needing them to be around all the time because she was so anxious.
Amber showed us almost $60,000 in that bank account in the screenshot. So why would Beck need or want to get another job?
So this is contradictory. I encouraged Beck to be independent. I encouraged Beck to go out, get a job, have their own life. No, you didn't. You did the exact opposite. You guys would just take a second on YouTube. Go ahead and press that thumbs up button. Look at my curved thumb. Come on, look at that.